Welcome to another edition of In the Box Seat podcast, proudly brought to you by Gallup TV. It is approximately 20 minutes past 2 on a Tuesday afternoon, and with me is Rahil Radhikrishna. How are you?
Very well, thanks to yourself, Warren, and looking forward to another edition of the podcast.
Yep, the podcast is certainly coming at us thick and fast, and that's what it's all about, bringing to you, the racing public. Today we've travelled across the world. We're getting onto the Zoom platform, and as we have done before, and we've gone across to the United Kingdom because there's just so much talent in the United Kingdom. There's talent around the world, in actual fact. And our guest today is a young rider who's certainly catching the eye. His name is Mason Paetel. Mason, from across the world, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Big thank you for having me on here today. I'm absolutely delighted.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Thank you. And when we were just chatting off air about, how we hunted you down, and your riding is certainly catching the attention. And let's talk about how it all started, because you actually started with pony racing. What is pony racing? We don't have that here in South Africa.
No, you know what? A lot of other countries do, like France and Germany, but pony racing over here, it's sort of something which grounds younger riders who want to go on in the future and progress in the racing industry, which I've done myself, and I think I learned so much doing pony racing. I was doing it for about 5 years before I got my actual license, and it's taught me quite a bit and given me a big insight into the industry and what it's like to be a jockey, really.
What's something, if you were to pick out like sort of one lesson that you've learned from pony racing, what would it be?
I definitely think, because you can't use the whips on the ponies. I think after doing it from such a long time, it taught me how to be quite strong behind the horse when I push them out. And I think not just that, there's multiple other things I could pick out, but it just gives a young person such a good insight into the sport.
And what's the competitiveness of it?
It's quite competitive, if I'm honest. These ponies they're they're bred to be racehorses. I mean, one of my old ponies, he was by Galileo, so
Oh wow.
they still go for, they can fetch up to about £50,000 still, so it's very competitive.
I see in one of the write-ups, Sir Mark Prescott and Stuart Williams and others had quite an influence in your career thus far.
Yeah, I think early on before I got my license out, I come up to Newmarket and I spend the school holidays up here riding out for different trainers, learning lots and getting different experience, really, to see how other people work. And I think, I'm hugely grateful for those people who have given me those opportunities to be able to go into the yards and learn so much.
How old are you, Mason?
I turned 17 on the 24th of July, so that would have been a couple of weeks ago. Well, a month ago now, but I'm enjoying every single step of it.
Are you sort of done with school?
Yeah, so school's sort of a funny situation for me. I was never academic like the rest of my family. I had my head very straight and set where I wanted to be, and all I wanted to do was just ride the horses and get up in the morning and go out and do what I love doing, really.
Talking about school, as we've just touched on, the South African Jockey Academy are very well known for the work that they do here in South Africa for producing world-class riders, really. How does the British Academy, how does that work? Because you're talking about school. Do you get school as well at the academy, or do you do that separately? Because here the academy and school are hand in hand.
Yeah, so because I didn't actually finish high school, I left early on to go to the yards and ride the horses. But currently, right now, I'm still doing a apprenticeship where I do my maths and English, because in the UK it's a legal requirement to still be in some form of education until the age of 18.
Okay.
Okay, interesting.
Talking of family, you mentioned the rest of your family. There was a wonderful interview done with you and your mum, which was quite wonderful to watch. But tell us about your whole family.
So my family, I've got an older brother, Bailey. His name is. He's sort of the other end of the spectrum from me. I'm very fragile, small built, but he's a professional rugby player. He he's 20 now, so he does that. So it's sort of one side to the other from me, really. And then my dad, mum and dad are very supportive of everything me and my brother do, and I can't thank him enough, really.
So you come from quite an athletic background.
Yeah, no, definitely. I say so. When dad was a lot younger, he used to do a lot of diving for Canada. And my brother also he's very big into his rugby as well.
Where are you originally from?
I'm from down in a place called Bridgend in South Wales. So my family live the other side of the country, really. So I don't really get a lot of time to go and see him, but when I do, and when they come and see me at the races, I'm very grateful to see him.
Where are you talking to us from right now, Mason?
Currently from Newmarket, I've just come back from work, so popped in the house and hopped on the call with you guys.
Okay, okay.
So, I mean, given that you are an apprentice, I mean, is there an academy where you have to stay, or do you sort of stay by yourself?
No, there's not so much an academy. As an apprentice over here in the UK, we're assigned to a certain trainer. So James Owen, my boss, he's very supportive of me. I moved to James's sometime early this year, and it's sort of it's not so when you ride for that trainer. You can still get outside rides from an agent, but until you've ridden your claim out, you're still assigned to a trainer as an apprentice jockey.
What's your current claim? I mean,
My current claim is five. I don't think it wasn't that long ago. I've only ridden four winners of my £5 out. I rode my 20 winners of my seven, and then I've just moved on to my five quite recently.
oh, interesting. Yeah, and how long does your apprenticeship last for?
There's not really a time on it, really. It's until you've ridden 95 winners. I think that's the number, but it's until you've ridden that, and then once you've done so, you turn professional then. So I've ridden a nice amount of winners in a short period of time, and especially in my first season, I couldn't have wished for it to go any better.
Weight, no problems with your weight. I mean, your lowest and and what do you walk around weighing what?
At the moment, my weight is very good. It's always been quite good. I've got, the rest of my family are quite small. And I normally wake up about 8 stone three, and that's quite light for a few jockeys over here, because I'd say, a lot of people are heavy nowadays, and a lot of people do struggle with their weight. But fortunately for me, I'm quite lucky.
It just goes to show. I mean, he says 8 stone 3. We refer to weight in kgs. Yeah,
kgs.
and I mean it's interesting because I mean for guys in the UK it's stones and pounds that they go according to, and yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know what 8 stone 3 is.
No, no. I mean, how would we equate it to? I mean, 8 stone 3 in kgs. We'd have to Google it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strange. Off the top of my head, I think it might be something like 51 kilos or something like that.
Yeah, because we get guys here that apprentices that can ride as light as 48, I
Yeah.
think 49, 48 kg. So 51's good. That's also light. Um,
Yeah.
Mason, your first winner. Okay, talk to us about once you left, obviously the pony racing, your official apprenticeship. Who was your first winner? Tell us more about that.
My first winner, the horse's name was Crafter. It was round Lingfield. It took me a nice while, a good month to get that winner. Um, but when I did, I couldn't really thank the trainer Mark Lucknan enough for giving me my first winner.
How many winners did you ride for Mark Lochnan?
Just that one winner for Mark, but he gave me plenty of opportunities to ride the other horses in the yard. And like I said, I'm very grateful for that. He also gave me opportunities in the pony racing. So people like him, I can't thank enough.
You started with Mark. You now mentioned that you ride for James Owen. I mean, who else? Which other trainers have you ridden for?
There's quite a big variety of trainers over here in the UK, and my agent is the one who books all my rides for those trainers. But people such as Ed Dunlop, Kevin Ryan, Mick Appleby. I ride quite a lot for Mick. Mick's very good to me. He puts me up on quite a few horses and a few winners. So, without the trainers and the owners as well, and mostly my agent, I wouldn't really be where I am already without them.
Maybe a silly question because I'm hoping you're going to answer it the way we think you are, but how would you rate your work ethic and how would you rate your work ethic and how important is that to you?
I think especially over here with the trainers over here, I think the more work you put in, the more you get out, and it's like anything really. So I try my very best to put 100% into everything. And you get the reward out of it at the end of the day.
Is there any specific rider, current, past, that you sort of look up to?
There's obviously the very good jockeys at the Tom Marquands and people like him, which are such good role models to watch on the TV and stuff. But at this point, I'm more focused on. I have help from my jockey coach Michael Hills, and I think trying to do things my own way, to me, it's sort of, I'd rather try to be myself and mimic somebody else, because I think that's how I'll get the best out of myself.
Absolutely. This is a question I'm going to direct at you,
Yeah.
and we're going to ask Mason maybe, because it's not only South Africa, we're talking from South Africa, but who international, which jockey, I've got one, I'm going to answer it just now. Who do you want to meet? Who would be your dream jock to meet international?
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be Ryan Moore. I mean, he's a quality rider, and I'm sure Mason could probably agree on that. I mean, what Ryan does is incredible, but I think it would be him.
Okay, so you, Ryan Moore. My dream is to meet William Buick. So there are two. Maybe if we come to the UK one day, we can arrange that.
Fingers crossed for you
And
both.
then, from your side, I mean, the UK looking out around the world, not necessarily South Africa, an international rider that you enjoy watching from your side of things.
I think looking at the racing, I watch a lot of the racing over in France, and I think one of the best riders out there is Christophe Soumillon. I think he's quality, one of the best out there. So, people like him are the sort of people I'd like to look up to.
There's incredible highs, Mason, and incredible lows in the horse racing industry. How do you handle the lows and the highs?
I think different people have different opinions on that. But me personally, like you say, when the highs are high, they're very high. But when the lows are low, it can be challenging at times. But I think it's so important to have such a strong team around you, and even just a strong, supportive amount of friends. I think at the end of the day, when you're low, you sort of want someone to talk to, and luckily for me, when I've had the lows, I've had people to talk to, and that's how I get through it.
You're currently serving a suspension. I mean, how do you go about it? Because I mean, I'm sure it must feel weird not having to go to races and ride.
Yeah, it's if I'm honest, it's probably been one of the hardest parts of my career so far. Obviously, I'm still quite early into my career, but 24 days is a lot of days. It's a lot of opportunities to be missing, and I probably haven't taken it great, really. But at the end of the day, it was my fault, and I've sat down, I've taken the time to look what I've done wrong, and I'll try everything I can to make myself better for it.
That was in one of the interviews again that we watched when we were, researching and looking for you. You had mentioned, you mentioned that to one of the people that were interviewing you. You've got to just learn. You've got to take it on the chin, and you have to learn. And if you can turn that negative situation into a positive situation simply by learning from that mistake.
Yeah, 100%, and that's all I'm looking at it from. Is I'm trying my best and not to look at it negatively, more as a learning curve. Like I said, it's very early on in my career, and I think things need to happen for me to progress and get better.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
What is the ultimate goal for you, being a rider? Where would you like to ride?
The ultimate goal for me really is just to make a career out of this. I don't have, obviously people will tell you champion jockey and whatever, but I think nowadays it's so hard for some people just to get a ride. You'll see them fly for a year or two, and then they'll just go under the covers quite a bit. So for me, it's just to make sure I get a long-lasting career out of this.
I mean, given that the UK flat racing season will come to an end soon, I mean, the goal for next season, you want to try and attain as many winners as you can, maybe even get a minor feature?
Yeah, 100%. I think, coming into this year, we sort of had our eyes open. We didn't really know what would happen, and obviously I've had a few bans now, so it would be unrealistic to go for anything this year. But I definitely think going into next season with my £5 claim and a nice amount of trainers behind me, I'd like to set some big, high achievements that we could possibly achieve.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, at what winner mark do you lose your £5 claim?
Your first is 25, and I think only very, very recently, the PJA, the Professional Jockeys Association, they've just changed it. I want to say it's 60 winners you lose your £5 claim, and then it's the next 30, and then you go down to 3. So I've only got 4 winners to my name for my £5. So I'll be looking to probably keep as much as my 5 for next season now.
The bans come with just bans, because in South Africa, our riders get banned and a monetary fine put upon them. That's not the case with you.
No, it's not the case here. Not always. It can happen, but I think when a jockey's banned out here, we take the days and we just come back when the days are over once our sentences are served.
Which is your favorite course to ride at?
My favorite course to ride at, I'd definitely say Great Yarmouth. It's not the most prestigious track, but I've had a lot of luck there.
And which course, or should I say, which big race day would you like to ride a winner on?
There's a lot of days I'd like to ride a winner on, but I think riding a winner at Royal Ascot or a big meeting like that, yeah, I think you can't really beat it.
Mason, in South Africa here, our province that we live in is the province of KwaZulu-Natal. We have 2 racetracks, only 2, well, 3 theoretically, because the one racetrack is turf and poly, and the other's just turf, so there's 3, call it. But you guys have got tons of racetracks. How do you just get from A to B and the travelling arrangements?
It's I can't drive yet, but I've got a driver for myself. But because obviously the United Kingdom is nowhere near as big as South Africa, 95% of the time, a lot of the jockeys will just drive for, they can drive up to 10, 11 hours to some places. But we'd get in the car every single day and drive to the racecourse.
The sponsorship of Nick Luck, that must be huge for you.
It's massive. Nick's such a big name in the racing community all around the world, really. And to have Nick to my name, I can't thank him and his team enough, really. It's a great opportunity for me. And, all I want to do for them is to repay them in success for giving me the sponsorship.
You mentioned success. What's been the most successful part of your apprenticeship so far?
So far, I haven't had necessarily a big winner yet, but I've ridden a couple of winners in the racing league. But I think the highlight of my career to this point was definitely riding my first double here at Newmarket. That was just a great feeling for me.
And who did that double come for?
The double came for Mick Appleby and my boss, James Owen.
Okay. No, so I mean, the double's been the most winners that you've had on a day. I'm sure soon you're hoping for a treble.
Fingers crossed. I'll always love a treble. But even just a double is a great feeling for. I think it probably affects more of an apprentice like me to have a double than it does with the big jockeys, because it happens quite often. But I haven't got a better buzz from it.
Any hobbies, Mason? Do you have time to follow any other sports or have any other hobbies?
Not since I've got my license out. Really, I've just been flat out with the racing. But before that, I used to do a lot of cycling abroad as well. So I go to Mallorca and take my bikes out there. And it's a fitness fanatic. So being able to go out there and enjoy something that keeps me fit and healthy, it's probably not a bad thing to do.
So if it wasn't race riding for you, it would have been to become a cyclist.
No, I don't think I don't think I was to the level where I could have been a professional cyclist, but I think my head was always fully set on being a jockey.
Sure.
The British Academy, we've spoken about the British Academy, but what is it? What do you have to have achieved to have them sign you off and get you out of your apprenticeship? What is the must-have?
There's all you need to do is ride the amount of winners of your claim. So, you ride your 7 and 5 and £3 claim out, and as soon as you've done that, you're a professional jockey. Then you're no longer an apprentice.
It's interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, no matter how long it takes you, I mean, you've obviously just got to do that. And
Yeah, it could be a quick apprenticeship. It could be a long one.
It could be a long one, and I think by the time you're reached 26, your class as a professional claimer over here.
South Africans, there are a plenty in the United Kingdom. Dylan Cooner, Kyle Stradham, and many others. Do you bump into them often?
I've never ridden for Dylan Cooner. Kyle, yes, I've ridden with Kyle before. But there's like you say, there's loads of them out here. But Kyle's probably the only one I've really bumped into a few times riding out here.
And then, of course, Gabriel Peterson, a lot of work riders that are really doing so well. You never been to South Africa?
I've never been to South Africa, no.
When we say those two words to you, South Africa, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
What's the first two words that come to my mind? A very big country, if I'm honest with you.
A lot of the internationals say wildlife, because we've got the greatest wildlife here, lions and leopards and all those wonderful things. But Mason, great to have been chatting with you, and just what a story.
Yeah, incredible to find out more about Mason. You've obviously followed him riding and keep a close eye on him. But yeah, good to learn more about him, and hopefully in the new season there's less suspensions.
Fingers crossed, yeah, that's definitely going to be the plan. Thank you very much, guys.
But thanks for your time, and thanks for taking our call and our reaching out to you. It's just been fabulous, and as I said, we've certainly, the two of us with all our colleagues, we watched racing, as I said, and we loved it and we love it, and we certainly spotted you a mile away. So keep your head down, keep working hard, and there's no doubt the future's bright. So thanks for your time.
No, thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, there we go. Thanks. That's Mason Paetel all the way, ladies and gentlemen, from Newmarket across the world. And yeah, just lovely. There's so much talent out there right here.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got it here in our country as well. We spoke to Mitch Curtis last week about this crop of apprentices, speaking to Mason Paetel, and yeah, I mean, hopefully we wish him all the best, and hopefully he gets to that 90 winner mark fairly soon. Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, so that was young Mason Paetel out of Newmarket, and lovely just to learn about this young man who's certainly catching the eye and is riding well, and we look forward to him getting back into the saddle once his suspension, or as they call it, his ban is over. That's a wrap. I think we've got lots of racing to look forward to. Friday night, Sunday, there's plenty of racing. We look forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait. Friday night's back. It's been a long month without Friday night. I mean, we started off with the first Friday of the month, but it's been a bit of a wait. Good to have it back.
Absolutely. So that's it. But that's it from the In the Box Seat podcast, proudly brought to you by Gallop TV. And we wish you all the very best. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. And punt well, be safe. And as always, we will look forward to seeing you in the number one box.